Hello, I'm Mrs. Charity. Welcome to the Glorious Heritage Overview of Catholic Church History. Discover the amazing story of the Church together as a family as you color and paste your way through the timeline and printables, which you can find on our website. And now, let's move into our topic for today.
Hello, I'm Mr. Charity, and welcome to the Glorious Heritage Catholic History video series. Today's topic is number 141, British Colonization. If you look on your timeline and summary question sheets, you'll notice that we are in the blue time period, which we have called Taken Away. If you don't have a timeline or summary question sheets, you can find them on our website. In this blue time period, we've been talking a lot about the French Revolution, Napoleon, and all of the events and people that came afterwards. All of these events were a major blow to the Catholic Church and Catholic rulers throughout Europe. However, there was a small island kingdom in Europe that was not very much affected by the French Revolution. This little kingdom used to be Catholic until the disastrous reign of King Henry VIII, after which it was plunged into the Protestant heresy. Of course, I am talking about the island kingdom of Britain, or otherwise known as the United Kingdom. Because Britain is an island, it was always very familiar with the sea. It was able to develop a powerful navy that could explore the oceans of the whole world. And because Britain was the place in which the Industrial Revolution started, it was able to use its knowledge of boats in the sea to establish colonies all over the world. Before I talk about British colonies, let me first explain the Industrial Revolution. Before the 1800s, in order for a boat or any other thing to be made, it was mostly artisans and craftsmen who had to make it by hand. To make a boat, a person would need to cut down a tree and cut it into pieces with a saw. This same thing was true about almost anything that was made. But the Industrial Revolution was a whole new time. Britain became very good at building factories in which things like boats could be made with the help of machines. This enabled Britain to produce things in much greater numbers and without the need for as many workers. They could make now many more boats, more guns, more clothes, and more of all kinds of things because of their factories. The Industrial Revolution made it possible for Britain to construct a very large navy with a lot of boats. The British were able to sail to many more places around the world and establish colonies. A colony is a small place in a distant land in which a country like Britain would control as if it were part of their own land. Usually, a kingdom like Britain would send British people to live in the colony and find things in that distant land to send back to Britain so it could become more wealthy. If you live in America, Canada, or Australia, then you should know a lot about British colonies because these countries used to be British colonies. America started out as 13 British colonies. Canada also was for a time ruled by the British, and Australia used to be a British prison colony in which the British would send their criminals. But these weren't the only British colonies that existed in the 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s. The British also had colonies in India, and in China, in South America, and many other smaller islands all over the world. Even today, many of the world's inhabitants learn how to speak English as their second language. Part of the reason why they do this goes back into the past when these places used to be British colonies. India is a great example. The British ruled over India for a long time. They had guns and warships and were able to subjugate the native population of India. If the people of India wanted to do business with the British, they would have to learn the English language. Australia, America, and Canada also speak English because of the British. Over time, Britain got rid of its colonies, which became their own separate countries eventually. But in the past, the British had a powerful empire with colonies all over the world, each of them sending money and goods back to Britain, which helped it become such a powerful empire in the first place. At this time, Mrs. Charity would usually show you something on her chalkboard, but she's unable to come today since she is at a rosary march. So instead, let's go to my study and I'll tell you a story. Welcome to my study. Now let me tell you a story about an Irish man who got sent to the prison colony of Australia for stealing food for his family during the potato famine. My name is Seamus Flanagan, and when I was just a teenager, I was sent to Australia because I stole food to feed my starving family during the Great Potato Famine in Ireland. The British, who ruled over us, continued to take our remaining food, making the famine even worse. They were mainly Protestants and were more focused on getting rich than from helping their colonies or helping us. After I got caught, I was put on a ship with other convicts and sent to Australia, which was a prison colony for the British. The journey was long and tough. We were packed tightly into the ship, and it was dirty and smelly. The British fleet was huge and powerful, with ships all over the world. Australia was a harsh and strange place. When I got there, I had to do hard labor like building roads and working in quarries. It was rough, but I made friends with other Irish convicts. We shared stories about home and kept each other going. The British had colonies all over the world, like in India and America, in which they tried to get rich by taking a lot of the things and sending it back to Britain. Even though it was difficult, I started to get used to my new life. The landscape was vast and rugged, and the wildlife was different from anything I'd seen before. I found work as a shepherd, taking care of sheep in the outback. Over time, I built a small home and started a family. And I taught my children all about Ireland and the Irish people's history. I'm still amazed to think that such a small place like Britain was able to make colonies all over the world and become such a powerful nation, even though it's so tiny on a map. Well, that's all for today. Come back next time and we'll talk more about the British. But this time, we'll show you how a small group of English Protestants became Catholic. It's a great story. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today. Visit our website, www.gloriousheritagecartoons.com, where you can find more educational supplements, cartoons, books, and printables. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to get notified of our latest updates and videos. And if you like our work and want to support us, you can make a donation on our website or on Patreon. We really appreciate your generosity and kindness. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.